speaking about Simcha. The Inyan as Simcha. The whole topic of Simcha. And I want to go into Chaf Daled. We're speaking about the entire topic of Simcha. And Simcha must not be such a pasha to Inyan because it has to be a mashal. And the whole movement of Torah Chaf Gimel. What's the whole movement? The whole movement, shkoyach. The whole movement of Chaf Gimel is a movement of choitfin, of bringing the yogan va'anocha into the simcha. That's the movement of the Torah. That's the ultimate epochs, the zenith of the Torah, is to bring the yogan va'anocha into the simcha. Now it's interesting, why is yogan va'anocha in the bracha of Hashiva Shofteinu Kavarishayna? The bracha bringing back good, honest judges.
What is
Yogan va'anocha?
What does that mean again?
Also in Sfaradi, in Eid Mizrach, it's Yogan va'anocha. What's with the Yogan va'anocha and that bracha davka? That when the judges and all the corruption of the different justice departments of the world are gegangin, and everything is straight again, and everything is gleich, and everything is straight and honest once again, then there won't be Yogan va'anocha.
Maybe correct judges bring sadness.
I think so.
But we also say with Lo Halenu, it's like when Hashem is ruling over us, we have Yogan va'anocha.
There'll be no more Yogan va'anocha when Hashem, the true judge, the true king,
you can trust him.
HaMelech HaMishpat, Melech Oyev Tzedako Mishpat, the king that loves.
Right people in power to direct us to do the thing we should be doing. There's nothing better than, there's a better feeling.
The right leadership, and the right leadership that's straight and good.
That directing us on the path we need to go. What Hashem wants.
So even though you might have thought it's interesting because it's out of din, it's directing out of din, and simcha is something I would have said maybe more out of chesed. But no, when you have din, when you have the right judgment, then din is operating properly, that's also simcha. That's also being mahapef. You thought that din is something that, don't box me in, It's, the hippies didn't like din so much. It was like cramp the style. But if din is used properly, din is a great simcha. It's a great happiness when din is actualized in a proper way.
The world was created through din first.
That's right. Bereshis bara Elokim.
She's kind of like natural.
Din is a very chashuv thing. We're going to go back to din. We're going to pass like Beis Shammai when Mashiach comes. So din is a chashuv thing. So the whole movement of the first Torah is to bring in the yogan va'anocha into the mochel, bring it into the tans. And we said there's like this showdown between the simcha, the guys that are in the mochel, because as soon as the mochel starts, then there's always somebody menatzad. There's always that depressed guy standing on the side. And there's this interplay between the two of them. But what gives the koyach of the guy in the mochel to pull him in? Furthermore, what if you have you and your chevera, there's like 10 guys, and it's a chasana, and sometimes like nobody wants to get up, like the chassan and kala haven't come out yet, but the band already started playing. And they're hoping everyone's still stelling by the first chorus. They're hoping that so you and your chevra, you're like, come on. You get 10 guys on the dance floor, but there's 200 guys sitting there. And you're all those labor guys. So how do you do that? Because it's not echad minatzad, it's 200 minatzad. And you're a pura mention, a few chevra there, in the middle. How do you have the koyach there to bring in the 300 mention, thank you so much, into the machal? But somehow you do it. We're going to have to get to this, I think, answer as we move through Chaf Daled. But somehow you have a koyach that you could bring in the echad minatzad and the chutz. Like we see in the mashal, is that when you're dancing, you just feel like, come on in, brother. It's like a natural magnetism where you want to pull somebody in. Fine. Let's see Chaf Daled, because Chaf Daled, the movement of Chaf Daled is a different level. It's a different thing. Here the Rebbe says, Mitzvah gedoyla liyos b'simcha. It's a mitzvah gedoyla liyos b'simcha. Tamid. Always. Tamid mamish. Ulis gaber. And to be strong. To be courageous. Ferocious. Laharchika atzvus. To push away atzvus. Umar shchar b'kol koichai. To push it away with all of your might. Wait a second. I push it akasha right away. How could it be? Wait a second. Chaf Gimel was all about choitfin ish. Bring in the atzvus and the marashchar. Bring it into the circle. Now you're telling me do anything you can to push it away.
But that was part of the second one also. But the second one was bring it in, but also like mahapech, like completely flip it.
Is that what it is? Mahapech here? It's laharchik.
Yeah, that's true.
Laharchik seems like a different avodah. In the first avodah, remember we said, look at the end of the Torah in Chaf Gimel. Because what's the ikr? Ki yesh yogim v'anocha, shehem ha-sitra achra. Rabbeinu gets into Kabbalah. It's from the Sitra Achra. She'enim roitzen liyos merkava la kedusha. That the yogin and the anocha, if the sign, the groaning, is used in a holy way, it could be a merkava, it could bring holiness into the world. The alkein heim borchen men as-simcha. So they run from the simcha, the mamish running away.
It's not mahapech, dorchim.
Until alkein, tzar lachriach oisam l'toich ha-kedusha. You have to pull them into kedusha. By the way, you see that simcha and kedusha are synonymous. You see that? Alkein heim borchen men as-simcha. They're running away from simcha. Therefore, pull them into the kedusha. What's this kedusha? I thought it was simple. Pull them into the simcha. No, kedusha. Kedusha and simcha is mamish the zel bazach.
Why?
We have to get involved in that.
What page? Because Hashem's always b'simcha.
It says oiz v'chedva bim koimai. In the English edition, it's on page.
22.
22.
Oh,
22. Wait, right now, 20. No, it's this one.
yeah, the English.
Same book, no?
Okay, so here we seem to have a different avodah. In Chaf Gimel we had chait f'noisai because they're running away. They're running away, which is funny. What do you mean they're running away? And in this, you have to push them away. In Chaf Gimel, the whole thing of the atzvus is that it's borchen, it's running away. So when you learn these words over and over, you realize it's nifla. It's nifla what's going on. And things start like merging and popping out. Everything in Chaf Gimel is borchen, it's oimdim menat sad, it's chutz, and it's as if there's like you and then the atzvus. And you're able to talk to the atzvus. You make like a separation of it. In Chaf Gimel, and we said that was all the mashal. The nimshal, it's in you. So there's the you. You're the machal. You're the dance. You're the dancing yid. You're dancing. But naturally what happens is you see your depression, oimdim menatzan. You see that, this is like, that should be like a commercial, with the little sprinkle on the top and the, can I just Rabbi said, come on, look at this. Look at this. The foam, you know what I'm saying, with all the drizzle, the whole experience. Thank you. So there's a you, and then there's the atzvus that's oimdim menatzad. It looks like in Chaf Gimel, I really believe Chaf Gimel is one of the secrets of therapy. A deep secret, and I think Chaf Dal is also one of the secrets of therapy, but it's a different stage of therapy. Chaf Gimel is the most advanced stage of therapy, where you're able to talk to your depression and touch it. It's going to start running away. It doesn't want to be pulled in. It wants to remain. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Let me just stay in my depression. Let me stay in my anxiety. And in Chaf Gimel, you go and you run after it, and you start talking to it. And you're not afraid of it. Not afraid. Like, I don't want to open up those dark places. You're not afraid. Now, you don't spend too much time with him. Remember, you don't hang out with him minatzad, you chap him into the circle. But you have to go at least engage with him. There's some level of engagement where you're going to talk to him. I'm saying the therapy that I've gone through learning this Torah is next level. In my own world, I'm telling just amongst friends here. Just my own therapy of feeling the eitzes of Rabbeinu, talking to me personally, and talking to my undiminat sad, and talking to my chutz, and a real dialogue, and a chayt f'noisai. Chof daled seems like a different avoid entirely. It's the avoid of like, I can't talk to you, stay away. It's an avoid of marchik, b'kol koichai. Whatever you do, just don't even engage with that guy. That guy could pull you down. Whatever you do, don't talk to that guy. He's going to pull you down. It's dangerous. Stay out of Morashchora at all costs. So what's happening? Is it two different avodas? Is it one maslul? Is it one journey of going into simcha? What's happening here? So the Torah is like opening up now is like two different parts. Do they go together? Is it for different times in my life? Yes, Daniel.
I was here yesterday that if you have a sort of hatred inside yourself for another Jew,
Chas v'shalom.
you have to go confront him about it and like why you have that feeling, so that because you can't hold a grudge or something.
That's right. You can't have it inside your heart.
Yeah. So what is
You have to get it out.
So you were saying like don't talk to this guy. Like
Here it's a person's own personal depression. It's his own personal depression. It would be like, let's say the mashal, he's standing on the side, and you're not engaging with him. You don't hate him. He's the depressed guy standing on the side of the circle. You're happy, you're in the circle, and I'm not going to engage with him. I don't have any problem with him. He might be a fine person. I might feel like maybe you'd have a better life if you were happier, but I don't have like a grudge. Maybe you could say, if I do have a grudge though, because you're staring my simcha, I'm not as happy because there's a guy standing on the side that's all mopey, that would then be necessary for me to confront, because I don't want to keep that in my heart. And that would then allow for engagement, then to pull into the circle. First, you could maybe you could take it out of your heart though. Why do you have to bear that grudge in your heart? Is it about you or is it about him? Do you care about him or you care about you? So we see this Torah is moving right now. It's moving. We have Chaytfin, we have Merkava El HaKedusha, the Yogan V'Anocha become a chariot for holiness. We have Kedusha and Simcha. We said last time that once you have Oindim and Atzad, and then we said Roidif, once you start running after the Echad, we said they all splinter, and they all start running away, like they chuck the weed and they're all like sprinting. So, I guess it's legal now, but I don't know. And everyone starts sprinting away, and it's easier to get them because there's single points that you can pull back in. That's Oindim, that's Echad. Oindim min Atzad, it's Echad min Atzad, it's every one. I could deal with every one of these depressed things, and I'm engaging with them, and I'm chaytfin, bal korchai, machrichim, bring them into the circle. And we say that's the highest level. That's the Ma'ila Yisera. That's the highest level of Simcha. In Chav Daled, though, we're beginning, Mitzvah Gedoyla Liyos B'Simcha Tamid. As if to say, don't think about Atzvus, don't think about Marashchera, stay away, L'isgaber, Laharchik, Ha'atzvus, V'Marashchera, B'Kol Koichai. Whatever you do, no depressive thoughts, B'chlal. Don't engage with it, do anything. And we're going to see later in this Torah, the famous Inyan of Rav Nachman, Mila Dishtusa. Even if you have to do things that literally are shtuyot. Yes. Mila Dishtusa. Like all of a sudden you just have to spend time with some people and you just go walk on your hands just across the room like that. I was like, that was weird. And he had to flip something around, v'nahapachu mamish, and he had to do something that would just get him out of his marshchayra. Anything, a fila b'mili d'shtusa, even if it means doing things that are just. You'll notice sometimes the Rebbes do stuff like this, jump up on tables, throw up the Streimluch, like in the air. There's like a Bechina Mili de Shtusa by the tzaddikim. They'll do like funny things.
Why? Why again?
Because they have to do anything possible. Now, either you'll say it's for the Chevera, is that their Mili de Shtusa will pull somebody else out of their Mar Shchayra. Then the Rebbe does all these funny things, so it pulls them out of the Mar Shchayra. Or maybe you could say that even certain tzaddikim have certain things that they have to do to keep themselves. Yeah. Or in the shahakal.
How are we supposed to bring in our pain and depressive thoughts into the happiness while not having that?
Oh, so that's what we're trying to deal with now. Is as we're just touching Chaf Daled. We're going to go through Chaf Daled right now. Chaf Daled seems to be this other avoida of staying away completely. Chaf Gimel seems to be this embracing, this bringing into the circle. So what's the connection between these two Torahs? Especially if it's one Torah. And Rav Nosson, the way that Rav Nosson brings the whole Torah down, he weaves them both together. So let's look into this deeper. Now Rav Nachman goes into a whole piece about healing. This is not medical advice, this is Torah advice. But if you want to know how to heal, Kol achaylas haboim ala adam, all sickness that comes to a person, Kulam boim rak mekilkul hasimcha. They all come from a blemish in simcha. And you know what's fascinating to me? It doesn't say they all come from depression. It says they all come from a degradation, a kilkul. How do you say kilkul? A rotting of simcha. Something has been blemished in simcha. That's the beginning of all sickness. Kol achaylas, all sickness. Which is fascinating. It almost makes me want to think that there's a difference between kilkul ha-simcha and atzvus. As if to say there's a sequence. You don't just become depressed all of a sudden. You have a kilkul of simcha first. Because how should a yid live? Mitzvah gedolah liyas b'simcha tamid. A yid should always mamish be pumping with simcha. We're going to see a little bit how we're going to do that. Pumping with a beat of simcha. All of a sudden, and he'll be healthy. All of a sudden, there's a kilkul of simcha. Something happens in his simcha, and it's just like, why are you so happy? He's not depressed. He's like, man, just cool down. It sounds like I'm like, just relax. Stop it. Like, you're chuckling by your Shemona Esrei. What are you so? What are you, a little beat in your step? What are you so happy about? All of a sudden he cools down. His simcha is a kilkul of the simcha. The simcha has been blemished and affected. Not fully, but it's not so pushed anymore. They just are constantly with the convention. So what happens now? There's a kilkul in the simcha. Okay, let's follow this journey here. And then Rav Nachman says, Ki yesh asare mine negina. There are 10 types of songs. 10 types of songs, the Tikkun Klali, that King David revealed to us. Shehein b'china simcha. And these 10 types of songs are the b'chin of simcha, which sounds like a yid who's happy has a song. He sings a song. When a person's going around with humming a tune, there's something that a person who's happy, and you have to ask yourself, what comes first? Is it the simcha that makes you sing? Is it when you sing it makes you b'simcha? Is it the chicken or the egg? Do they go together? They definitely go together. A person who's happy, he's like walking around like a niggin. I think Rabbi Dovber lives with a niggin. I think every time, I don't know if he still does this, because I think maybe I'm giving share, but he come into the yeshiva with a niggin. I could hear him for the base medrash back in the old days, just with a niggin. Always a niggin. Walking around with a gevaldik niggin. A yid with simcha be'emes. Kamoshe Kosov, and he brings a proof from the greatest Orthodox rabbi of all time, King David. Kamoshe Kosov, Ale Asor, that attend song. I will sing to you the 10 songs. Ki simachtani Hashem b'falecha. Hashem, for you have made me happy. of all the things, all the deeds that you do. So it looks like when a mensch looks at the world, he sees that Hashem, you are so good. And I express that through 10 types of song. Through these 10 songs. I sing to you in these 10 ways. For I'm so thankful for everything that you do. Ve'elu yud mine negina. These are the 10 types of song. Oh, where do the 10 songs go? Boim letoich asore mine defikin. They go into the 10 pulses, the 10 rhythms, the 10 beats. Ve'hein mechayin oisam. So now Rav Nachman says that we have these 10 pulses, these 10 beats. Remember I told you about some of my friends that they could tell everything from the pulse? Yeah. Some of these doctors.
The Chinese have
that were unbelievable level. These Chinese doctors, unbelievable sensitivity to the pulse. And they were shotzing. I told you, they were like, look at you like this. Like one of them, I just said, he looked like with his eye a little bit. I just felt my pulse. Different spots of the pulse. Yeah, okay. A whole prescription knows it.
Is this in America?
It's in a place called Canada.
Canada?
soon to be America.
We'll see. So we have. So what's the sequence here? We have Simcha. Simcha has 10 types of song. And the 10 types of song go and enliven the 10 beats of the person. So Rav Moti was saying yesterday, he said, the beat is your pulse, but it's also like the beat of life. When a person is happy, he's like walking around with like a beat, with like a rhythm. He's got like cadence. He's like moving. You know what I'm saying? Like just observe a person that you feel is beside. He's like, there's movement. He's motivated. He's got a beat. It's like, when you have a beat, you can do stuff. You know what I'm saying? What's the opposite of that? He's very verschlaft. He's ba'atzvas. He's b'marshchaz. Like blah. He's like, not interested. The beat. You got to get the beat of life. Almost like the life force of the person. This whole in him mechayinoisam. There's always on like chiyas. What gives life force to a person? My father would always speak about life force. You want to have a lot of life force. It's all about life force. That your life force is like this beat that's moving through you, that comes from a song, the 10 types of song. The 10 types of song are the yesod of simcha. When you have this simcha, then you have the 10 types of song. The 10 types of song enliven the 10 beats, these 10 pulses. And a person walks around with like this pulse. He's like on a mission. You feel like somebody has like a hop in their step. And they can do stuff. When you feel like you're besimcha, you feel like you can hop stuff in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're besimcha, so now all of a sudden I feel like I'm back in Chav Gimel. All of a sudden I feel like the guy who's besimcha is in like the mocha, right? And it's like, that's the simcha. He's got like a beat, okay? And it's easy for him to pull somebody in. The guy's in the circle. So he's, but the one who's in the circle, he's able to pull a mensch into the circle. You all see?
Yeah, I was thinking about how you were talking about certain tzaddikim and certain rabbis, like they'll sometimes engage in studio in order to like get the oil on like the simcha, and I was thinking like just tying it back to Torah base.
You're still by Torah base.
How like the tzaddikim or the rabbis, like they'll be like the lave, and like when there's like a heart attack, like all the blood comes rushing to the lave, and when the heart stops, like or when the blood stops flowing, like it all comes to the heart, and when the Rabbi like will engage in some sort of like striyot to like get the oil like back pumping, back flowing, to get some life force back going, like
to bring the talucha, to bring everything back, the chiddush and halal. It's also a chiddush.
Like a big shock to like get the pulse back going.
That's interesting. Immediately the shtus is a chiddush, right? It's a chiddush. So we said, what happens when the blood is shoyt from alaleiv and is doifek alaleiv? So all of a sudden there's a chiddush in halacha. Something is coming out. There's an eitzah, there's a chiddush. Mila d'shtusa is a big chiddush. When you see somebody doing mila d'shtusa, it's like, whoa! I didn't expect that, to happen. Mila d'shtusa is a big chiddush.
It's like if your heart stops, you need that shock to get the pulse back going.
So in the mila d'shtusa, you can bring things kind of back into regulation. Which sounds like atzus is not the normal state of a person. Something has gone wrong. Usually you don't need mila d'shtusa. Usually you just can be b'simcha. Mila d'shtusa looks like it's like simcha plus. It's like a boost. It's like a B12 boost inside the coffee. It's like this coffee. Okay, that's like basic. And then there's boost. Like some acai something. Like went into the regular... You don't normally need that much stuff in the system. You don't live on, B12. It's a boost that comes into the story to shock the system. If you need a little bit of an extra pump up. That's the mila d'shtusa. So we're going to see this. He's going to open up. Chaf Dalet just opens things up in another way. But this nakuda of the asaramin defikin is very powerful to me. Is that you have this pulse of life. And the pulse of life depends on the 10 types of song, which is the simcha, which really means take a look, take a body scan. Am I walking around with like a beat? Like this feeling like I'm in a rhythm? I'm moving, like I'm excited. I'm jumping to shir and I'm going to halacha seder. And like I'm going downstairs and I'm responding to messages and or am I like, oh, I'll get to that later. Or, you ever heard the expression, you want to get something done, give it to a busy person? What do you mean? It's the opposite. He's busy, he doesn't have time for stuff. No, you don't understand. He's busy because he's always accomplishing things. You give it to somebody who's not busy, he's like, I think I could probably do that by next week, I think. Why not right now? I don't know. You want to get something done, you give it to a busy person. A busy person has this beat of and you see high executive functioning people that they're all the time just performing. There's a beat of accomplishment. And they do things usually on the spot. If something has to be done, it's it's done already. It's already been, I already sent off the email. It's can we speak to that person? Yeah, I just sent them an email right now. It's a very powerful, that type of beat, if you remember, and it has to be, because everything in the Torah will always be on the side of Kedusha or on the side of the Sitra Achra. You could have that on the side of the Sitra Achra of a beat that's not the holy beat. It's some, I don't know. And they tell me there's some crazy beat, step, music, I don't know what it's called. Like some intense dubstep. It's some music, but I don't know if it's music. But it's music, sort of, maybe. In Lumdus, I don't know. But it's a beat. But it's a very, I don't know. It's a different type of beat. And they're also accomplishing, but who's their master? So Simcha is a Merkava. You can have the Yogan Vanocha as a Merkava for Kedusha of Simcha. Looks like there's other beats that could be a Merkava for something else.
Right. That's probably what it meant when it said Mekilkul Simcha, right? Simcha the wrong type of way. Maybe that's the blemish.
Okay, that's interesting. It's a kilkel of Simcha. It's Simcha, it's a beat, but it's off. The beat is off. I can see it two ways. I can see it either, I first was thinking there's a healthy beat of life, and kilkel as Simcha is that he no longer has the beat. It's just like he's more blah. He's gotten to a place of just dragging his feet. Is there a beat though that's fast and it's efficient, but it's going into not good things? I can see that also. Ve'al kain. Kashiyesh kilkul upegam simcha. Now he adds pegam. There was kilkul simcha, and now there's kilkul upegam. You can medayik everything. A kilkul upegam simcha. Shehi bechinas yud min negina. Maybe you could suggest, as we said, that the first thing hayid is b'simcha. Mitzvah gedolah liyas b'simcha tamid. That's the standard operating protocol of a mensch. Simcha. Kilkul asimcha is the first thing where something is nitkalkel, like something broke a little bit. Something cooled off in a simcha. But it's not a pagam yet. Then there's pagam asimcha. Then there's kilkul upagam. Now it got worse. He's really slowing down his life. Something is, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go out. Now it's like the beat is really being affected. Shibachin is yud meni negina. And because there's a kilkul in the simcha, then the beat of your pulse, that's what it means that they would see, they feel the pulse, and they could see something is off in your beat. Something is off in your pulse. Your body is not working, God forbid, properly. His song has become a blemished song. He's no longer singing happy songs. He's no longer singing a song of goodness. Mizmor Shir L'Yom Shabbos. He's not singing the song of Shabbos. He's singing the other song. Shehem Asimcha Kenir La'el. Ki Kol Minei Choilas. So what does the Rebbe now want? All types of sickness. Kululan Miyud Minei Defikin. All types of sickness include the 10 pulses. Which means really, what is equilibrium? What is harmony in a body? When my pulse and my movement is working properly. Everything is in beat. I have a good beat. I'm moving in a healthy way. Now it's interesting, you ever notice by the machal, back to the dance. Is the machal, when we do a rikud, is the machal something that's in beat or out of beat?
The Kabbalah says this, what you were saying.
What's the in beat? How to mention dancing? That's like a very clear beat. Sometimes guys come it's so boring, Rabbi. And then some guys do some crazy, I don't know, these types of dances. They're very intense dances. You know what I'm saying? And we're always you see the old timers just it's very much in a beat. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So there's a normal beat. So let's go back to the mashal of the circle, everybody's dancing. It's the normal dance. Some guys that didn't grow up religious, they come and this is dancing? You should do wild, crazy stuff. Which is interesting. Our dancing, you could do it for forever. The first time I went to Reb Shimon, Lag BaOmer, people dance in circles literally just for 24 hours straight. They're just dancing. They're just dancing. Okay, there are some that go then beyond and do their own thing in the middle of the circle. But the basic dance is in a rhythm. There's a rhythm of the dance. So keep that in mind. There's a rhythm of the dance. That's good beat. Everything is a good beat. Kol minei chaylas, klud meyud minei defikin. All sickness, which includes the beat, the rhythm of life. V'chein kol minei nigunim, klud meyud minei negina. Okay, so what's the order here? All sickness comes from a problem of pulse. And all the pulse comes from the 10 types of song, which is simcha. Ukefi, and that's an interesting word for me. Kefi, what's the word kefi mean? According to, or as much as. Kefi, kilkul asimcha ve'anigin. According to, it's not just all or nothing. As much as the beat is now off, kain ba chaylas, comes sickness, which means it looks like it's a graph. That's right. It's not like a person just becomes totally sick. It's that, God forbid, it's that sickness happens so a person who's healthy has a good beat. As soon as the beat goes off, that's the beginning of sickness. If the beat is way off, that's a lot of sickness. If everything is off, God forbid, it's fascinating. Bless you. If there's no beat, that's death. If there's no beat, So it looks like as long as there's a beat, there's something. It could be very sick, but at least he's alive. No beat, that's the flat line. We should all live until 120 years. Yossel?
Is the Rabbi familiar with this movie, Patch Adams?
I think I saw that like 100 years ago. What's it about? It's about Simcha, right?
It was about, Robin Williams was the actor. It was based on a true story about this guy named Patch Adams who was very depressed, and he was in a mental institution, and then he found that the medical care system was soulless and very bleak and gray and blood. And he tried adding simcha, and he started adding humor to
He was a doctor or he was a patient?
So he went to medical school and then became a doctor, but he tried just experimentally trying to heal people through humor and simcha, and he found that it had better results than what the medical care was otherwise offering, and he then went on to heal many people with simcha.
Maybe he learned Torah Chaf Daled. Maybe there was a kuntrus there in the hospital, and he looked at it. Interesting. With the Breslov Research Institute translation. And he found a copy of this, and he's like,
Exclamation point.
yeah, Taka. The special English edition, exclamation point. What's this thing? Kol min ha'cholas, klul b'yud min defikins. Okay, interesting. If all the sickness comes, maybe we could try happiness. Maybe we could try this. You never know. You never know. Somebody finds a little kuntra somewhere. You never know.
Small pamphlets that are just.
I found one of those in the early days. It was a game changer. You've never know. People who spend the money to print these things, you never know. Somebody picks something like this up. These could be game changing. I had a certain pamphlet like that, like a little booklet that I found somewhere. That was a game changer for me in the early days. I spoke to somebody who found one also yesterday, and he's like, these little things, you never know. You never know. You put a little something in a bus station somewhere. You never know. Somebody finds something. It could change their life. It could change their life, mamash, yeah. Adam Yosef.
Is this physical sickness or mental sickness? Both.
I think it's both.
If you have a blemish in simcha, you could be physically sick.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think this is what the Patch Adams Nakuda is.
High cortisol. It's a huge, causes almost all of diseases.
Yes.
High cortisol,
Yes.
which is a stress hormone.
That's right. Anyway.
Where does Tikkun HaKlali fit into this? I know that each one has its own. There's 10 Tehillim and 10 Tevrakim and 10 versions of the song. Each one corresponds to that. But how does each pair correspond to each type of song?
I think we have to ask Rabbi Shimeyer to lay out the whole sugya for us, how the Tikkun HaKlali fits in each one, and then to see. That would be real.
Should we sing Tikkun HaKlali? Is there
Yeah.
There is a Tehillim tune. I know in Morocco, back home we do that. And it's not many people know that those tunes anymore for Tehillim. But it's the same tune. It's just, it doesn't change between different perfume.
Have you ever seen the cantillation notes of Tehillim? Tehillim was written with trop, cantillation.
Like when you lay?
Yes. If you get a Tehillim that has the cantillation, they're wild. The cantillation there is beyond.
That's what I mean.
So many say that we don't know how to sing Tehillim anymore, for real. To really sing it, that it is. And the Tehillim, we sang Tehillim in the Beis HaMikdash, you know that?
Right.
The Beis HaMikdash was filled with King David's songs, and they were singing them with the real cantillation. And some say it's coming back. That certain artists who really know the side of music are bringing back the songs of King David, the way that he sung them. And that would be deep medicine to go into basically the pharmacy of Tikkun HaKlali and go into what is the song of each one, both the words. Rav David Weinberg, I remember, was telling me that he was going through all of Tikkun HaKlali with his Chevera, and he was learning it literally as a prescription. Like Rabbeinu said, that the 10 types of song heal sickness, let's go into Tikkun Klali and learn it like we're receiving a prescription from the doctor. Again, this is not medical advice. But learning it like a prescription mamish, and going into this and understanding this will change my asarmini tefikin because of the asarmini negina, which is going to bring me back into the beat of life, to both learn up the words, because the words also give you a beat. It's not only just the niggin of it, it's through the concepts of it, the song, not just the niggin, the song of the words, of the vibrations of the Hebrew letters, to really go into it and be a major project. If anybody ever wants to do a PhD, maybe do it in that, of what the prescription of Rav Nachman and Tikkun Klali is, based on vibrational medicine, based on the trup, based on certain frequencies. I'm sure you could really, there's a lot there to unpack. Now look what he says here. All of a sudden Reb Nachman brings in Gam Chachmei HaRoifim, which is so fascinating to me. The Chachmei HaRoifim, the Patch Adams.
He doesn't like doctors.
It's fascinating. But he brings the Chachmei HaRoifim.
It's literally what you just said.
This before.
They have specialized doctors. But then it says most even rabbis could tap into your soul from here.
The Rambam calls the rabbis the doctors of the soul. The doctors of the body and doctors of the soul. So he says, it's so interesting that he puts this in here. Gam Chachmei HaRoifim, even the great doctors, Heirichu Bezeh. Apparently they spoke a lot about this. It could be he's saying Patch Adams got it from there. He didn't need Chav Daled. He could have just got it from the Chachmei HaRoifim, which maybe they lost that Masorah in those places that he was hanging out. That even the great doctors spoke about this of yesteryear, that sickness comes from, and now he goes back to Mar Shchor and Atzvus. That first we said, how do we say it? That's fascinating to me. What did the Chachmei HaRoifim say? Chachmei HaRoifim say it comes from depression. Rabbi Nachman says it comes from kilkul simcha. Is there a difference there? Maybe you could say like this, that the Chachmei HaRoifim, they say, just don't become depressed. That's bad for your health. But you don't need to be so happy. Rabbi Nachman says, you mamish need to be happy. And meaning it's not stam, either you're happy or depressed. There's like a journey. There's happy, then there's kilkul simcha, then there's kilkul pagama simcha. We're going to see something, this Torah is going to go, and there's something called leiv nishbar, brokenheartedness, as a good thing, but a bit of a dangerous space, and then depression. Because leiv nishbar, we're going to see, is close to depression. So look at this. We have simcha, kilkul simcha, kilkul pagama simcha, leiv nishbar, atzvus mar shchera, and you can also dam what that means, atzvus mar shchera. So the Chachmei HaRoifim said, whatever you do, don't have more shcher and atzvus. But for Reb Nachman, he says, no. Mitzvah gedolah liyos besimcha tamid.
Mitzvah gedolah.
That's right. You see, the song, that's where Reb Nachman got it from, I guess, the song.
He made the song?
It's from here. This is the Torah. So I think what you could say is that for a Yid, we're not here to just get the world out of depression, but you could be in like a basic, your beat is kind of, it's not fully simcha, but at least it's not totally off. Somewhere in the middle, like getting by. How you doing? Could be better. I'm not depressed, but it could be better. It could be worse. For a mensch, it's mamish simcha. It's simcha mamish. And Rav Nachman says, all chaylas will already start from kilkul simcha. For the Chachmei HaRoifim, they say, whatever you do, just don't be depressed. That's going to create big problems. But for us, we say, let's go all the way to the other side. Now, we're going to see something interesting. Look to the end of the Torah for a second. Vehaklal. And we'll have to finish this part tomorrow, and then we're going to really go be'in into the Torah. Vehaklal. And then go down. Av shagam leiv nishbar hu toiv me'oid. Even though there's something called leiv nishbar, which is very good. Im kol zeh hu rak be'ezeh shah. Even if it's just for a little bit. Roi lik boyaloi ezeh shah ba'yoim. A yid should make an hour out of the day, l'shaber liboy, to break his heart, ulefaresh sichosay lefanav yisborach, and to explain to Hashem what's going on. Kemuva eitzleinu, like everybody knows, by Breslover, they spend the shah like that painting. The sacred soul, a yid is a moment of leiv nishbar. Kimi leiv nishbar. Oh, aval kol hayam kuloi. But the rest of the day, it's tzarich leis b'simcha.
Only for a brief moment.
That's right. Kimi leiv nishbar. Because with a broken heart, bekal yechoy lave l'mor shchara. If you're broken-hearted, it's easy to come to mor shchara. Chas v'shalom. Now look what he says here. Yoyser ma'asher yechoy li koshel al yedei simcha chas v'shalom. He's telling you a warning. There's also something that could go wrong if you're too besimcha. What do you mean? Mitzvah gedolah lias besimcha tamid mamish. No. There's actually a problem there, potentially. Lavoy la'eza hoilalis chas v'shalom. What's hoilalis? To become like lightheaded. To lose yourself. So it looks like there's on the extreme on this side is hoilalis. What's the standard? Simcha. That's the mochel. Everyone's in the mochel. Leibedei. What would be hoilis? That's like that guy in the circle that all of a sudden just like gets like too crazy, and he starts like maybe he's the guy that's like then he's like and he like pulls everyone's like you're totally messing out the beat of this. He's like no simcha. So that's already hoilis. You know that guy? So that's like hoilis, or he's happy, you think, but it's hoilis. He's breaking the rhythm. That's breaking the rhythm on that side. And then there's simcha. Mitzvah gedolah is simcha tamid. And then what's after simcha? There's kilkul as simcha. And then there's... Now, is kilkul as simcha first, or is leiv nishbar? Kilkul as simcha, pagam as simcha? Is that leiv nishbar after that?
No.
Or is leiv nishbar first? Leiv nishbar is something good.
It's closer to simcha.
Why is that good?
We're going to see.
What are we doing with these words?
That's right.
Chizzuk.
That's right. When a leiv nishbar, you could be real with yourself. You could examine things that are going on. You could feel like...
We need to live.
That's right. There's this therapy that you could do. I could talk to stuff.
What does nishbar mean?
A broken heart. A broken heart's not atzvus, but it's close to atzvus. So maybe you'll say leiv nishbar, and then if leiv nishbar goes wrong, you have kilkul as-simcha, pagam as-simcha, mor-shchar. So you have these extremes. The two extremes is hoidelis and atzvus. Some part of the day you should have leiv nishbar. If that's too, and then go right back to simcha. So is leiv nishbar bad? I mean, is leiv nishbar something that's good?
Yeah. It's very good.
But I thought mitzvah gedolah is b'simcha tamid.
You can't always be happy.
But what do you mean? It says that.
David HaMelech wrote the Tehillim.
Leiv nishbar. I mean, should I have is a leiv nishbar like, okay, what are we going to do? We have to give you space to be a bit broken during the day. Kamuva eitzleinu, go to the forest, be a bit leiv nishbar. Is that what it is? Or somehow leiv nishbar has to be part of l'chatchila, the simcha of a yid. Has to somehow, be careful, because it's kal that it could come to atzvus, and it's much closer, and this is what I want to go into tomorrow, it's much closer to come to atzvus than a yid who's simcha tamid, that he would come to hoilis. Meaning better to stay b'simcha mamish 23 hours a day. But what do you mean? Maybe you'll come to hoilis. No. Don't worry about that. It's much more dangerous to say, I think I'll be 23 hours out of the day b'leiv nishbar and 1 hour b'simcha because I don't want to become hoilis. I don't want to lose myself in hoilis. No, way more dangerous is to stay in Leiv Nishbar, because that could lead to Moshchan. And to be Besimcha Tamid, and to think, but I might come to Hoyless.
So a lot of Rishayim, like Paro, they would have like hardened hearts and nothing can get through their hearts. But when you have a broken heart, there's openings, there are places where you can really feel it.
That's right. The Leiv Nishbar is something good, even though it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Depends on what you let into the openings.
Oh, so what do we see today, the Siyat Deshmai? We saw the Chav Gimel. We said the whole avoid of Chav Gimel's chaytfin is bring in the Atzos and the Marashchora. I want to suggest that also the chaytfin is bringing in the Leiv Nishbar. That the Leiv Nishbar is the zone where you could pull in the kind of sad parts of you. That's a healthy place where you feel empowered because for 23 hours of the day you're besimcha. So your whole life you're in the machal. You're able to pull in to the machal, the Leiv Nishbar. And we said that Chav Dalid seemed to have been something like stay away from that, stay away, just simcha tamid. So how do these work together? We're basically starting the mahalach of how it all works together. And then we spoke about how all the chaylas that come to a person come from kilkalas simcha. He didn't say depression, it said just the beginning of kilkalas simcha. And then Reb Nachman opened up the asar mine negina, the 10 types of song, which is the ikr of simcha, which come into the 10 mine defikin, the beat of my life, the whole way that I move around with like a song coursing through me, that you walk around 23 hours a day. Is there a song of the Leiv Nishbar? Does the Leiv Nishbar have a song that's a simcha dika song?
I don't know if it's a simcha dika song.
Maybe you'll say though, if we can connect the Leiv Nishbar into the simcha, that itself is a song. It's like the song of how I bring in. Because even a song, there's a moving forward and a moving back. That's what we're talking about Rav Nosson. There's this oila v'yorid. The whole niggin is the ruach toiv and the ruach ra, and I'm moving. It's the shuckling of the dum dum da 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 dum dum dum. When I'm moving in, I'm in the simcha, and I'm moving back. I'm really hopping from outside. Dum dum da 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 dum dum. Whoop dum dum da dum 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 da dum dum. I'm pulling in. But
never going to the Atzvut.
the Leiv Nishbar, but even the Atzvus we said in the first Torah, we said even the first Torah is Mamish Atzvus, only the Sad, and that's the Roidif. After Mamish, it's like maybe the Leiv Nishbar is like but the Atzvus is we should be Zoicha Mamish to live with the Asar Mini Negina, Asar Mini Defikin, to bring in all of the Atzos and the Marashchora, all the Oindim and Atzad, to bring everything in, all the Chutz, to bring everything into the Mochel. And we're going to talk about the Mochel. Why is everyone in the Mochel like going inwards? Nothing's in the middle, right? We're all dancing, we're like going towards something in the middle, but what's in the middle? It's like, especially when you're like, what are we going towards? And we're all facing towards the center point. We should be Zoicha Mamish to all the gewaldige Simcha v'nahabachu asher yishlu to ha-Yehudim heim v'soinem. We should be Zoicha Mamish to Mashiach Tzidkein b'mehir. Amen. Amen. Oh Yahweh Ashreinu v'to'egeinu v'manayim v'alei. Oh Yahweh Ashreinu v'to'egeinu v'manayim v'alei. Oh, yeah,